Look, I'm a simple guy. I like my trucks loud, my steaks medium rare, and my weekends spent in the garage covered in grease. So when my son Leo brought Julian home for the first time, I wasn't exactly thrilled. Julian was a software architect from Seattle. He wore these pristine white sneakers and talked about things like user interfaces and organic kombucha. I figured the kid wouldn't last 5 minutes in my world, and I made sure he knew it. For 2 days, I gave him the silent treatment, only answering in grunts while I worked on the old Ford in the driveway. On Sunday, Leo had to run to the hardware store, leaving me and Julian alone for the first time. The silence was heavy. I was struggling with a rusted-out bolt on the alternator, sweating and probably cursing loud enough for the neighbors to hear. Suddenly, I hear this calm voice behind me. "Hey, Bill, you're gonna strip that if you keep at it from that angle." I looked up, ready to give him a real piece of my mind. But Julian didn't flinch. He just reached into his bag, pulled out a can of WD-40 and a pair of work gloves that looked like they'd actually seen some real action. He didn't even wait for permission. He just got down in the dirt, right there in his fancy khakis, and showed me a leverage trick my own father had taught me 40 years ago. We spent the next 3 hours working in total silence, until I finally cracked a beer and handed him one. Turns out, Julian grew up on a potato farm in Idaho before he moved to the big city. He just didn't feel the need to brag about it. We sat there on the driveway drinking cheap lager and talking about the best way to restore a '67 Chevy. By the time Leo got back, we were both covered in grease, laughing about a story involving a runaway tractor and a local sheriff. I realized right then, I'd been judging the book by its glossy cover. Julian wasn't just some city boy, he was family. And honestly, he's a better mechanic than I am. But don't you dare tell him I said that.